Long Island had always carried that uneasy mix of wealth and rot. Perfectly trimmed suburbs hiding messier lives, quiet beaches edging up against secrets the Atlantic swallowed without complaint. But nothing prepared anyone for what Gilgo Beach would become, a graveyard stretched along the dunes where the wind sounded like it was whispering names the police hadn't learned yet. The first bodies weren't even the first victims. They were just the first ones the world happened to stumble across when a search dog training exercise went wrong in the best way possible. December 2010, officers looking for a missing sex worker found not her, but another woman wrapped in burlap, positioned almost neatly, as if the person who'd placed her there had stepped back and admired the scene. Then they found a second body, then a third, then a fourth. All women, all escorts, all dumped within a short walk of one another, the ocean wind sweeping across them like it was trying to cover the smell of human decay with salt. Panic hit fast. The media swarmed. Long Island residents clutched their children close. But investigators moved like they were wading through concrete, tripping over evidence, losing leads, leaking information until rumors moved faster than the truth. And even worse, nobody could agree how many killers they were dealing with. Some bodies were dismembered, others were intact. Some victims had been strangled, others had been missing for years. Some seemed carefully placed, others were scattered like trash. Was it one man, two, three, or a hunting ground used by whoever wanted to slip through the cracks of jurisdiction? The police departments argued like kids fighting over toys. Suffolk versus Nassau, county versus state, everyone obsessed with their own territory while the bodies just kept showing up. And behind it all, corruption simmered. A police chief who later went to prison for beating a suspect and covering it up. Detectives ignoring calls, missing people dismissed because of their profession. The case felt cursed, doomed, sabotaged by human incompetence more than the killer's cunning. But the killer was cunning, patient, methodical, choosing victims who society always hesitated to protect. Women who used online classifieds, who slipped in and out of hotels under fake names, who didn't always have families willing to demand national attention. The killer hid behind their invisibility like a shield. Gilgo Beach wasn't the only dumping ground either. Bodies had been found in Manorville years earlier, cut apart, left in plastic bags, exposed to the elements until animals completed the work the killer started. Some matched the Gilgo victims, some didn't. The geography was a puzzle with pieces deliberately forced into the wrong shapes. Almost like someone wanted confusion. 4 years the case stalled. Leads vanished, tips dried up. Families screamed into microphones and begged someone, anyone, to care. Time passed. The dunes eroded. Memory faded. But then, decades after the first known victim, the investigation suddenly snapped awake. A new task force, new eyes, new evidence, and no more corrupt leadership dragging the case into the mud. And in 2023, everything blew open with a name almost nobody expected. Rex Hoyerman, an architect from Massapequa Park, tall, awkward, with a lumbering walk and thick glasses, the kind of man you'd mistake for a quiet neighbor who keeps to himself, but always waves politely. His arrest shook the entire island. Investigators found burner phones, dark search histories, maps, surveillance, DNA-matching hair found on one of the burlap-wrapped victims. They found his online personas, the way he hunted digital shadows before hunting real women. And everyone asked the same question. How did a man with a wife, kids, a house, a career, sit in a cubicle in Manhattan by day and stalk escorts by night without anyone noticing? But the deeper question, the one that still gnaws at the heart of the case, is whether he acted alone? Because some victims don't match his pattern. Some bodies were dumped before he was fully active. Some were dismembered in ways that didn't match his known methods. Did he have a partner? Did someone copy him? Did the beaches become a disposal ground for multiple predators who realized how incompetent the early investigation was? Authorities won't confirm, they won't deny. They speak in careful political phrases like ongoing and under review, while families of victims stare down the possibility that the person who killed their daughter's sister mother might still be out there walking the same sandy trails where the first bodies were found. Long Island residents talk about the case in hushed voices at bars and backyard cookouts. Some swear they saw something strange at the beach years ago, a truck parked where it shouldn't be, headlights off, engine running. Others talk about hearing screams late at night over the dunes, swallowed quickly by the wind. Some insist the killers used the marshlands like a living thing, letting nature hide their sins while the world looked the other way. And the creepiest part, the dunes still feel wrong. Tourists don't feel it, but locals do. That sense that the sand remembers every body laid beneath it, every footstep taken by a man who saw the shoreline not as a place of peace, but as a perfect lonely dumping ground. Even after the arrest, even after the headlines, the truth is still fractured. Police have identified some victims, matched remains found miles apart, pieced timelines together, but half answers cling to the case like burrs. Unidentified remains, unconfirmed links, missing women who fit the pattern too closely to ignore. The Long Island serial killer case isn't solved, not completely, not cleanly. It's just paused like the wind is holding its breath. And everyone on the island knows that until every victim is named and every killer is identified, the shadow over Gilgo Beach isn't done. It's just waiting.